We all know that Halo Infinite continues to struggle. The latest numbers, at least according to Steam charts, have it about as many players actively playing as Halo Master Chief Collection. I know Season 2 is coming soon. I hope this update fixes a lot of the problems we have been having, but it seems like Master Chief Collection has been getting a lot of interest lately, and surprisingly, a pretty massive update. So this is just posted on the Halo blog. We have a big Master Chief Collection update talking about unfinished business. And I've done a lot of videos in the past on my love for the Master Chief Collection, talking specifically about the constant iterations that 343 has made. And it was really a great experience, and I was playing it very often leading up to Halo Infinite, and then I kind of jumped ship over for Infinite. But with all of these updates, I think I might be doing a little bit of split time. I guess we're going to have to see what Season 2 brings to the table for Infinite. But Master Chief Collection in of itself is really moving along quite nicely. We do know that after the last season, known as Mythic, that 343 was going to be stopping on what they consider those big seasonal updates, which makes sense. Most of the development team has moved over to support Infinite updates. However, as they say here, they're by no means done. And there is a list of stuff coming out. I'm not going to go through all of them in extreme detail, but there are some really interesting things that have dropped that make me and many others want to check out Master Chief Collection, which I will be, and I'll have a video for that later in the week with some gameplay and some thoughts on some of the new modes. First and foremost, ODST Firefight is going to be added. The Flood is going to be added to it. They've made a lot of major networking improvements. Enemies getting stuck and not seeking out the player properly. I don't really consider these revolutionary. These are honestly like bug fixes that honestly should have been fixed a long time ago. However, now players can, expect some significant improvements there, which is good. I think the fact that the Flood has made their way over helps a lot. One of the big pushes about Halo 3 ODST was kind of the first time we've ever seen something related to a firefight mode. And while we have seen many iterations of it appear since then, I know I played a lot of Halo 5 Guardians that had a firefight type mode that I absolutely adored. Halo 3, I think the ODST portion will always hold a special place in people's hearts. So it's cool to see that they've kind of gone back to the roots and made it better, which is good. Flood can now occupy vehicles for the first time since Halo 2, which I think is going to be just a blast. I think that's what made the Flood such a cool threat in previous Halo games, was that the Flood were just all things. They could hold UNSC weapons, Covenant weapons. Now they can drive UNSC vehicles. It just seems like they're more menacing of a threat when you think about them and what the idea of the Flood is. The fact that they're going to be able to commandeer and fight on all these different fronts with all these different weapons, I think more holds to the truth of what the ODST firefight experience should be. So I'm very, very excited for that. They have, the new Flood types. We got the Infected Civilian, the Infected ODST, and the Infected Elite Major, which has different shields. And here you can see some footage of that in play. That's going to be a lot of fun to check out for sure. Flood can also employ familiar strategies as well. They climb on walls. They can deploy ranged forms in unexpected locations. They can drop into the map via dispersal pods. ODSTs can be infected and resurrected by the Flood. You may have to fight against a resurrected version of your buddy or even yourself. And that's really, really, really cool. New combat options have been included, these boons, which will be available across the Firefight mission to help you against the undead onslaught. Boons include new things like weapon racks containing different weapons. New flamethrowers will be really cool. Marines and new Mombasa Police Department officers are going to be helping out. So this sounds just like a really nice overhaul. I know some of the stuff in there might seem kind of light, like, oh, they're going to add smoke to the maps to create more of an ambience. I know that's not the greatest thing, but it sounds like they really went back to the drawing board and said, okay, what makes Firefight Firefight? What makes it the most menacing thing? What could we throw at players to give them those, oh wow, like big team battle moments? And it seems like they've answered the mail here. So I'm very excited to check this out, and I'm going to dive into it. And like I said, I'll have a video later in the week on it. We could check it out together. There's a lot of UI improvements, new redesigned icons and stuff like that. I don't really consider that to be too radical of changes, honestly. Some new Forge tools and mods, which will be really nice. I'm not a Forge user or a modder myself, but they have added a lot of new features here that, I mean, I don't even really understand what I'm looking at here, these modding tools, but it seems to me like people are going to be able to really create what they want. And the heart and soul of what keeps the Forge community alive is modders' ability to do things that they want to do. Some of the coolest, most original, exciting game modes have come from people saying, hey, wouldn't it be cool if, and then they go out and execute it. And based on what I'm seeing here, based on these screenshots, based on 343's recommitment to giving the fans modding tools, it seems like they have themselves, in fact, embraced the idea that, yes, giving people the ability to make and do the cool things they want to do is the reason why people are still playing the original Halo and Halo 2 and Halo 3 and Halo 4. We keep drawing from the same well because we're getting fun, new, creative modes. I'm very excited for that. I think that's really, really awesome, and I can't wait to see what people can do now that they couldn't do before. And I am not the person to really talk about this, but I understand it from a creativity standpoint, and as someone who enjoys the content, I am incredibly excited. They've added some campaign crossplay now for PC and Xbox consoles, which is interesting. You know, Microsoft has really pushed this Play Anywhere initiative, allowing players to play across a suite of devices and generations, whether you're on the original Xbox or all the way up through the Xbox Series X. So it seems like they're bringing that, at least to Halo 3 and ODST, probably to drum up support for Firefight. I think that would make the most sense. You want to get the hype out there the best you can. You want to get more people jumping in to play with you, so I'm okay with that as well. More campaign customization, which is something that I really, really liked in Halo 3. I remember a lot of the missions in Halo 3 as I was grinding through the seasons involved going back and replaying certain missions or certain objectives or modes, you know, within the Halo 3 campaign. And I love my gold AR. So I bring my gold AR with me everywhere that I went. But it's nice to see that they're bringing that support over to Halo 4. So you're going to be able to have some of your skins when you pick up different weapons, which not revolutionary, but still cool. And there are some of us that still do the annual playthrough of all the games. I am definitely one of those people. So this will just add a little more spice to it. And I think that's really cool as well. They've added 51 new multiplayer medals to Halo 3, which I honestly thought these were kind of already in here. These medals have always been tracked, but I guess now you can actually see them pop up. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe I'm more used to seeing kind of like the tracker piece of it, but not like the in-game portion. You're going to be able to toggle that on or off depending on what kind of HUD display you want to show on, which is really, really cool as well. And you can, just turn everything off if you don't want to be bothered by that at all. Here's a little bit more of the things. One of the other fun things is that they've added, here's some of the, sorry, I'm losing my train of thought. We'll be adding many of the skulls that were previously exclusive to Halo Combat Evolved and Halo 2 to some other games as well. Skulls, that's what I was trying to say. I was still talking about medals, and I'm looking through these, and I'm like, these are not medals. These are skulls. I just scrolled back up. I guess I missed the word skulltacular. So that's why it took me a second. So I'm like reading through these. I'm like, bandana's infinite ammo. I don't know what they're talking about a medal for bandana. And that makes a lot of sense. They're adding in the acrophobia, which allows you to fly in Halo 2. That was an awesome medal or an awesome skull that was given out in Halo 3. Makes some of the levels completely broken and fun, but if you've played the game as many times as me, it's always fun to just do something different, and you can now do that in Halo 2. They're also bringing a lot of this stuff over to Halo 3, which is really cool. I love the Halo 3 AR. It is probably my single favorite AR in any of the Halo campaigns. So I have a feeling for me running around the campaign with my gold AR using the bandana, my favorite skull, the infinite ammo bandana is going to be so much fun. But you could see here a list of all of the new skulls that will be making their way over to Halo 3, which is really, really, really cool. They've also added acrophobia to Halo 3 ODST. I haven't played ODST in a long time. Maybe this will make me want to go back and play it. I don't know. It remains to be seen. But they say they're still not done. They say there's still stuff that they want to do. Believe it or not, they still want to add mod support for all of the Master Chief Collection games. They still have a lot of leftover armor and customization content that wasn't included, so maybe we'll get to see that in the future. They want to add in more content in terms of collectibles, which is fun. I think that'll be something that's kind of interesting to see. More post-match customization screens. This will be interesting. Right now, when you play a customization game, or a customized game rather, the score screen doesn't always make a whole lot of sense. If you're playing a mode, sometimes it doesn't really match up because they're just dumping the default, like how many kills did you have, how many assists did you have, how many deaths did you have, but it doesn't really reflect the actual type of game you're playing. So it's nice to see that you're gonna be able to, get a little bit better details there. It seems like that's what they're working on. And it seems like this new category will also allow players to set a pose, which will be very interesting as well. So they're working on a lot of stuff. And I have to really give them credit because, like I said, this game's old. This is old. When Master Chief Collection came out, it wasn't that great of a game. It wasn't very well received. Many of us panned it. I remember going over to Brent's house and playing it and just being so blown away by how poor the matchmaking implementation system was and how broken some of the design behind it was. And over the years, 343 has very slowly but meticulously brought on a really, really fun game that has just a lot of really nice natural charm to it. And it's something that definitely, for me, filled the gap kind of as I waited for Halo Infinite. And in a weird way, even though we're less than a month away from Season 2 of Halo Infinite, and to be honest, I think a lot of us are skeptical over what Season 2 is going to be, despite the fact that we've gotten a lot of kind of preview builds and that sort of thing. The truth is, Halo Master Chief Collection remains old reliable. And it injects new life and fun into the game. And that is so cool. And that's what I love about the Halo community. And that's why I love being such a part of it, is we are a bunch of resilient MFers. Man, are we. Like, we get dumped on so hard sometimes from 343, and it's just so nice to just have something that's like, yes, this is a win for everyone. If you play Game Pass, if you've previously bought Master Chief Collection, this is a great time to jump in, go play ODST Firefight, go check out some of the new skulls and campaign, laugh a little bit, have some fun. That's all we ask for, because that's what I'm going to be doing. That wraps up today's video. I hope you guys found this interesting. I will post a link, by the way, to this blog in the description below. I didn't read everything in explicit detail. I'm sure I missed a few things. I'm sure, there's some features in there that are like, oh my God, Jim didn't talk about this or that, like custom game browsing in Halo 2 as an example, but you'll find some other little gems in there. So make sure you do yourself a favor and check it out for yourself. And with that, I'm going to close out today's video. Hope you found it interesting, informative, and most importantly, riveting, because I am very excited. Thank you all so much for watching. Take care of yourselves. And until next time, I will see you guys on the other side.